When we are engaging consumers, we have 3 seconds to either put a smile on their face or we lose them. And you literally only have 3 seconds. Use it wisely, put your best foot forward, put a smile on your face, and we want to hear it in your voice.
Welcome to Women Leaders on the Move, a Her C-Suite radio podcast. I'm your host, Natalie Benamou, and every week I bring you inspirational stories and insights to help you with the arc of your career and to find personal fulfillment. I'm also the founder of Her C-Suite, a network community of ambitious women where we are creating an ecosystem of limitless possibilities. Women are meeting, engaging, and thriving, getting promoted, hiring each other, and landing board roles. I hope you will check it all out at hercsuite.com. Today's guest is Sheila Rondeau. She's the founder of MOGXP, a marketing operations group, experiential. They invent and create customized experiential marketing. Think pop-up stores, social media and large-scale in-person events, PR stunts, VIP hospitality experiences, trade shows, unique events, and it's all designed to create conversations for your clients. Sheila started with experiential marketing at Anheuser-Busch and worked with some of the best-known brands in the world. She is also a retired Army First Sergeant. We talk about how important it is to focus on the first 3 seconds that you have to engage someone. So with that, let's start the show now. Sheila, I'm so excited to welcome you to Women Leaders on the Move. Thanks for being on the show today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
We're going to be talking about engagement today, and it's great because the way that we met was actually at a networking event. And so I know that we're going to be talking about some of those things, but more so engagement. But before we get started, you have an incredibly interesting background, and I would love for our listeners to learn more about you and your background.
Well, I had a very, very unique path to get me to where I am. I am a retired Army First Sergeant. So I spent 6 years on active duty. I spent 14 years in the Army National Guard. I loved what I did. When I was in the Guard, I also was part of the marketing team at Anheuser-Busch. We were part of the in-house marketing team, and I got the opportunity to work on some of the biggest, most complicated, amazing programs that we have in the marketplace. Anything from beer school to Bud Bowl to the Olympics. We got spun off, and I left there and really hit some of the other agencies and went to a couple of agencies that really did fun and unique type programs. And about 13 years ago, I made the decision that I thought that companies deserved more. Brands deserved more. They deserved true partners instead of agencies that very traditionally put their own needs in front of their clients. And I have made a career of sitting side to side with my brand partners and with my agency partners that really want to engage consumers and take them to another level. So I love what I do and I'm passionate about it. But more so, I think about marketing different than most people. So for lots of people, marketing is about the pretty pictures. It's about the creative. And for me, marketing is about engagement, but also about the math, being able to do the math in front of an activation to know what you should get out of it and to benchmark it, to say, okay, these are my true goals. And if we're not aligned on the goals, then we are not serving our clients.
You've also done gigantic installations that last months. I mean, not just like, a lot of times we think of an event or a concert or festival or what have you as a short period of time, but you've done things that span over events. You've had as many as 400 people, I think you mentioned, like working on these projects. What is it like to manage all of that and to spearhead that? Because that seems there's a lot of details that go into that.
It is, but if you do the upfront planning, it really isn't that daunting. So they tease me. My team is unmerciful when it comes to teasing me about things because my mind thinks differently. Again, most people think of creative and they think of the big splash. And for me, I immediately go to my checklists. And they tease me about the fact that my checklists have checklists. So I have a 4-page checklist and it literally says refer to such and such checklist, and it'll go 4 or 5 more steps and then it's refer to such and such checklist on something else, because events are so different. Every event is different, and sometimes it's a tour with a ton of events, and sometimes it's a pop-up where we might be open a year and a half. We expect to be open a month and all of a sudden the client loves it and they decide to morph it into something else. And all of a sudden we have a chocolate shop open in Soho for 18 months, which is crazy. And other times it is something that comes back year after year after year. I was fortunate enough to work with an agency out of Boston that did a ton of work in New York. And we did Charmin restrooms in Times Square. And for 8 years, from Thanksgiving all the way until New Year's Eve, we had 20 luxury restrooms open, filling a need for folks in New York City and the guests of New York City, providing restrooms at a level that was crazy. And you think, okay, it's toilet paper. But there were 8 billion media impressions because it fulfilled a need. And when you have children doing potty dance, because the little potty dance kids do when they have to go to the bathroom, and Charmin owned the potty dance. And because of that, they moved 6 and 7 market share points in New York City is crazy. And the ROI that delivers, they owned restrooms, that luxury restroom experience that nobody else could.
One of the things that we shared is that attention to detail and making sure that things are set. And we joked about how, when we talked about how, what happens when you and I arrive to the set or arrive on the show floor. So can you describe that experience of the things that you're doing? So you talk about your checklist, but there's also the in-person. You're doing some really for real things. What are some of the fun things that you did, checking on some of the installations?
First of all, we do a soft opening. So we set up the equipment, and it might be where we produce the equipment, or it might be our first event site. And we will literally climb on the equipment. I will try to do pull-ups on trusses and signage and so on to make sure that it doesn't fall over, that there's no way for people to get hurt. And that's part of our risk management. But also it's, how do we engage people? Are we trying to push things over? What does the timing look like? And I do what is called a day in the life of document, where I literally look at all of my senses from the time that I am driving or flying or whatever to an event, what I hear, what I smell, what I see when I get close to the event site. What is the signage I see on the approach to the event site? Then what engages me? How long do I want to spend there? Who welcomes me? Do they thank me for being there? Are the message points clear and concise? Can I feel it? Can I smell it? Can I taste it? Do I feel like I walk away knowing somebody who is part of that brand? And do I walk away with a connection knowing that these are people I know, like, and trust? Because that's what changes buying habits. But for me, it is about being completely immersed. And it might be, again, doing pull-ups on the signage. It might be crawling under things to make sure that kids aren't going to get under there and get stuck. Is the wind going to knock something over? And where's that perfect view? Where do I want that person to stand? And how do I build that experience that takes someone's breath away and makes it a memorable moment?
We're doing an event next week that's called Engagement Equals 3 Seconds. I'd love for you
Yes.
to share why it's so important, those first 3 seconds.
When you are at fairs and festivals, you get 3 seconds to make an impression. There are so many things drawing people's attention away. And as you walk past a display or some type of interaction, somebody has 3 seconds to get your attention and make you smile. So think about the carnies, and we laugh about them, but the truth is they draw your attention and they make you smile. And you have 3 seconds as you are approaching and walking past that somebody can pull you in, make you smile, and make you wonder, what is worth my time? And if somebody can make me smile, it's worth it. So when I interview people, I have a pretty standard set in how I interview. First of all, I want my team to interview folks and make sure that they check all the boxes. They have experience, but they don't have so much experience that they have somebody else's bad habits, that they still have that love of the event and the experience, that they represent the brand in the way that we want to. They fit the mold for us. But then before I want to do a face-to-face, I want to do a call with them so that I physically hear their voice, because you learn so much about people and their excitement level just by hearing their voice. I don't want to see their face. I want to hear their voice. And if they can make me smile within 10 seconds, then I know that after 9 months of being out on the road, saying the same thing to hundreds of thousands of consumers, can they still bring a smile to my voice? Can they bring it just through their voice, put a smile on my face, and make me want to engage them? Then I know I have the right person. Then I want to see them face to face and say, okay, does the smile on your face meet the smile in your voice that makes me want to engage and take it to the next level? Because again, if you're going to go to a state fair or a festival, if you're going to go to some kind of consumer facing, or even say a trade show where it is B2B, where people are really jaded because they get so many business calls and sales calls every single day, and so many of these people are going to call you and want your business. Am I spending my time with the people that I should be spending my time with, when our time is so valuable? 3 seconds, that's all you have.
When you think about those 3 seconds that you have to engage, what kind of personality does a person have to have, or that you're looking for that's going to be the person engaging? Like what are you looking for? What are some traits that someone possesses?
Again, they have to be able to put a smile on my face in 3 seconds. So for me, it is warm, it is inviting. If I use an outside staffing company, occasionally I do. A lot of times I try to staff myself, but what I tell them is I would rather have a 10 in personality than a 10 in looks. So don't give me a traditional booth model. Instead, give me somebody who is used to engaging and really involved in events. People who are passionate about what they're doing, that would rather be out in 100-degree temperature than sitting in an air-conditioned office. Those are the people I look for, and that they have to be on the balls of their feet. So if you think about how they stand, the way they present themselves, they're always ready to take that step to reach out and shake your hand. Those are the people I look for.
What are some of the most unique the things that you've done in marketing with your engaging and getting people to smile, that really, like a project that just still makes you smile, other than the Charmin one, which that sounded like a great project?
One of the events that I loved was Folds of Honor. So I worked with Rite Aid, Unilever, Johnson & Johnson, and Nestle. And we created what was called the Dream Ship. It was a hot air balloon that was 8 stories high. It was huge, massive. And we built it to be different from any other balloon because at the time, the technology was brand new. And we took the children who had been recipients of scholarships at Folds of Honor and had them draw pictures of what they wanted to be when they grew up. And so that's the meaning of the dream ship, is it's the children's dreams. And so we built this hot air balloon, and to give people the experience of doing something that so few ever truly have the opportunity to ride in a hot air balloon. And for those who physically couldn't go up, we created a virtual reality balloon ride. So if it was a day that was too windy and they couldn't go up, they still knew the feeling of being in a hot air balloon. And then the faces of the children that we impacted and were able to give scholarships. So elementary education all the way through college. So these are people who lost a parent in the line of duty. So we needed to give back to them, and then being able to see how people interacted with them and that level of engagement and the warmth that it brought and the honor that we gave and reciprocated for those who either were injured or lost their lives in protecting us as Americans. So it was a huge, huge heartfelt program that touches the lives of so many of us.
I can only imagine the ripple effect and the impact, and especially for you. And I haven't said it yet, but thank you for your service. I appreciate it so much. But for having served, I bet that had a really special place for you in terms of being able to do that for those children.
It was amazing. Not only did I get to work with Dan Rooney, who created Folds of Honor, but I got to work with a gentleman by the name of Rocky Sickman. And Rocky and I have worked together twice in my career, once at Anheuser-Busch and once with Folds of Honor. And Rocky was one of the Marines assigned to our embassy in Tehran when they overthrew our embassy back in the 80s. Actually, I think it might have even been late 70s. But Rocky is this amazing, honorable man. And when we look at the political arena right now, I look for honor. And I look at Rocky and I look at what he did for our country and think, wow, to be able to work with him and to work with a cause that is so important to him and bring smiles to the lives of children and create a better place for them. It meant so incredibly much to me to be able to team back up with him. It was amazing.
Amazing. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. So I really appreciate you sharing that story. If you are now looking forward, what are things that you really are excited about in terms of the industry or maybe new trends that you're seeing of ways that people are changing because the world has changed so much in the last 4 years?
In the last 4 years, engagement has gone down so much. A lot of companies have gotten trapped in thinking that because virtual is convenient, they think virtual is easy and it is the way to go. And while I love virtual in so many ways to reach people we wouldn't otherwise be able to, I still believe that face-to-face changes habits more than anything. People still want to know the people they do business with, and nothing does that like being face-to-face. And so we're looking at different ways of engaging people through different types of events. Again, I talked about the fairs and festivals and trade shows and all of those that are great. But I got to tell you, trade shows are really working on how do we take it from the traditional auto show type thing where you've got auto show models and instead creating real engagement where you let people do things and participate and really get their hands into it and feel like they know the brand. And I'm having a blast with that. But I also love the really grassroots. So I've done a lot of work at the last couple of years with flag football. Flag football is fun. And there's this fabulous man, Charles Davis, who created flag football. And while, we've done it for years on a lower level, he created this organization and he is allowing people to play it. And they have ex-football players and college football players who never made it to the big leagues, but they're in their 40s and they're still playing football and they're having a blast doing it. And those are the kind of things I get excited about, that we're creating new things. I'm working with Invited, which is a big group of country clubs that are all connected, and they're taking pickleball to the next level. And it is so much fun that there are new sports and new organizations that are engaging people and bringing the fun back into it, when so many companies and so many organizations are still keeping everybody at a distance. And it's like, bring them in, let them have fun, let them connect, create new engagement models that allow people to stay active and meet new people and have fun.
I think bringing the fun back in. So engage in 3 seconds and bring the fun back. Those are the
Yes, bring it.
bringing the fun back. I love it. Thinking about the future, and we talked about, the fun, but also in addition to the engagement piece, you also do fractional work as a CMO. So what are you seeing in the marketing world that might be changing, because it's evolving with AI and everything that's happening? How is that impacting any of the things that we're talking about today?
Well, one, marketing is easier for small businesses than it's ever been before. But there's also so much clutter out there that you still have to find a way to stand out. And so I am taking the learnings that I have had working with Fortune 100 companies and taking it to small and medium-sized businesses to look at their business model to say, are you truly engaging people? Are you talking at them? There's such a difference between speaking with potential clients or consumers and speaking at them. And so I am taking clients one by one and teaching them how to speak with consumers and with clients versus speaking at them. And I'm having a blast doing it.
In speaking with people instead of at is so important. As a consumer, I think we all can relate to that. If people want to learn more about the amazing things that you are doing, where's the best place they should go to find you?
So right now it's LinkedIn and my website. So I have a phenomenal website, MOGXP, MOGXP.com. And LinkedIn, I've got a LinkedIn profile that shows a lot of the passion I've had for my work over the years. But also I have a book coming out. So my book should be released next month, and it is The Art of Experiential Marketing, understanding that while marketing is a science, it is also an art. And it is a blending of the two that really give you the engagement and help you understand really what experiential marketing is. Because people want to put it in a box and say, oh, you mean event marketing? No, it's so much more than just an event.
I can't wait for the release. And I'm excited that we will be promoting the book and all the things. Sheila, it's so much fun talking with you today. I really am excited about the projects that you have done and that you're about to do and that you're doing in the future. So thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And I love spending time with you. And thank you for giving a voice to people and a platform in which to share their passion.
Thank you for spending your time with us today. This show is sponsored by Her C-Suite Turnkey Speaker Events, where we plan end-to-end programs for organizations, summits, leadership development, and more. I hope you will visit us at hercsuite.com and schedule a call with me. I'd love to hear about your next project. If you found this episode helpful, I would be so grateful if you would rate and review it on your favorite podcast app. Keep shining your light bright. The world needs you.